Hey guys, how are you doing? OpenAI has just released GPT 5.5, and this time it's not just about answering better, it's about performing complete tasks for you. Writing code, using tools, handling files, or organizing entire workflows, all with less manual intervention. If this really works as promised, it could completely change the way we work with AI in our daily lives. And it's the same old story, it's still not AGI, but it's getting closer and closer. So, to make sure you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, that's already great. Now, if you leave a like, then everyone here will be really happy. Now, if you want to become a member and watch the videos without ads, then the people here on the channel will be overjoyed. Deal? So let's get to the video. Well guys, today I want to share with you the news from OpenAI, which is the launch of GPT-6. The 0.5, the famous Cypriot, which was in OpenAI's internal files, has now been released to the public under the name GPT-5.5. Listen up. A new class of intelligence for real work and to power agents, built to understand complex goals, use tools, check your work, and carry more tasks through to completion. It marks a new way of doing computational work, now available in ChatGPT and also in Codex. So, here on the blog, introducing GPT 5.5, a new class of intelligence for real work. They made a point of emphasizing this idea of real work because according to OpenAI itself, from now on, ChatGPT can act as a co-pilot, a true co-pilot, right? In the real sense of the word, especially when you use this new model inside Codex, which I'll show you in a moment. Moving on, we're launching GPT 5.5, our most intelligent and intuitive model so far. And it's good to emphasize so far, because we never know which model is next, right? There's always something new coming up around here. Moving on, and the next step towards a new way of working on the computer. GPT 5.5 understands what you're trying to do more quickly and can handle more tasks on its own. So, it has a certain intuition. It will try to guess what you want so it can deliver results faster. It excels at writing and debugging code, online research, data analysis, creating documents and spreadsheets, operating software, and transitioning between tools until a task is completed. Instead of carefully managing each step, you can delegate to GPT 5.5 a much more complex task that is divided into several parts. Trusting that it will plan, use the tools, check its work, deal with ambiguity, and keep executing a task. So, the idea here is that you delegate more tasks to this new model, which according to the company will be able to handle them. And who is this new model available for? Listen. Today, GPT 5.5 is being made available to Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise users on ChatGPT, and GPT 5.5 Pro is being made available to Pro, Business, and Enterprise users on ChatGPT. API implementations require different security measures, and we are working closely with partners and customers to define the security requirements for large-scale deployment. Soon, we will make GPT 5.5 and GPT 5.5 Pro available via API. And that's only if you want to make implementations. Create your project using OpenAI's new model. If not, if you have at least a Plus account, because it's not yet available for free accounts, you can use the GPT 5.5 model. Here, they've included the famous benchmarks, and as we can see, it's far ahead of other models. For example, here in this first comparison, in the Terminals 2.0 benchmark, GPT 5.5 reached 82.7%, while Claude Opus 4.7 got 69.4%, and Gemini 3.1 Pro got 68.5%. Looking at the PibVol benchmark, it's the same. GPT-5 got 84.9%, Claude Opus got 80.3%, and Gemini 3.1 Pro got 67.3%. Here in BrowseComp, it's still ahead of Claude Opus 4.7, but it loses to Gemini 3.1 Pro. So, as we can see, it's the model to beat. In the benchmarks, in these comparisons, when it doesn't come out on top, it only loses by a little. So, the companies, the competitors, will have to step up to catch up with this new model from OpenAI, at least here in the benchmark comparisons. Here in the model's capabilities, we have the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index. As we can see here, GPT 5.5 is in first place and using fewer tokens than the competition. On this orange line, we have Claude Opus 4.6, and here is Claude Opus 4.7. It's only losing in token consumption to Gemini 3.1 Pro because the further to the left, the cheaper it is. Models get more expensive as you move right. In terms of agentic coding, the comparison is made here with the previous model, GPT 5.4, and once again, GPT 5.5 comes out on top here. Then, they put some examples here demonstrating everything, all the capabilities of this new model. And it's really impressive, because if it can do everything that's being demonstrated here, it really is a new model to beat. The first and last examples here have prompts, so I was able to replicate them, and I'll show you how they turned out. Both here, this space mission app and the 3D game. Another amazing thing you can do now inside Codex is use this tool here where you can ask the AI to navigate the website. So, if you create a website and want to know how it's working, you activate the browser function here and the AI itself will test it for you. I'll show you how it works in a moment. So, I'll leave this link down below in the video description if you want to dive deeper into this data. And now, let's go to the tool and I'll show you what I was able to create with the new GPT 5.5 model. But before that, I want to talk to you about the hashtag AI journey. Have you noticed that all companies talk about these days is AI? And what if I told you that you can learn everything about it in just 1 week? That's right. In this free course, you will see the leading AI tools on the market. You will learn to be much more productive and become a go-to person at your company using powerful tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Gamma, and much more. You will learn how to use artificial intelligence to handle complex, repetitive tasks and have more free time to focus on the most important tasks that will make you stand out in your company. This course is practical, straight to the point, and doesn't require any prior knowledge of AI, and there won't be any programming involved. And you will get ahead, because you will learn how to properly use the best technologies, while the vast majority of people don't really know how to use them in their daily work. So, if you want to master the best AI technologies on the market and advance in your career, the hashtag AI journey will take place from April 27th to 30th, always at 7:30 p.m. And you can participate regardless of your current knowledge. You just need to secure a spot on the official website. Just click the link in the description of this video or scan the QR code that's showing up here on the screen. So hurry up and take advantage. Well, coming back here, first of all, ChatGPT is where you can most easily access the new model, GPT 5.5. When you go to the model selector and click on Configure, you'll see Instant, which is 5.3, and Thinking, which is 0.5. So you start by using Instant, which is the weaker model. And then, if you turn on this switch here, whenever Instant can't handle it, it will automatically switch to 0.5. Or if you just want to use 0.5, just select it. Keep in mind that this model uses more tokens than 5.3, so your limits might run out. During the presentation, they said that this new model, 0.5, even though it's more expensive than 5.4, it uses fewer tokens, meaning it consumes fewer resources. So, you'll likely use fewer tokens to perform the same task and, consequently, spend less. But we'll only know that over time and after several hours of use. So, let's go. This is the prompt they used to create this little game here. I used the same prompt, asked it to create, and look at the result. Look, here's my tank, and here are the little spaceships, and I can shoot at the spaceships. How cool is that? I didn't ask to add sound effects, so it didn't include them. But look, it's working perfectly on the first try, right? Look how cool that is. So, really, using that prompt they showed in the demo, I was able to replicate the little game. Then, I also asked it to create a replica of the game Minecraft here. Let's see how it turned out. Look, click to play, I can remove blocks, add them, it's working perfectly. Look, here I jump, I can look around, I walk forward, I jump. It's working really well, right? Placing the blocks here, removing them, choosing the elements from the generations I've already made here on the channel. Showing that it's possible to create a basic, rudimentary replica of the game Minecraft. 5.5 did better because it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do here with the game, right? Look how cool. So, it also passed the test. Now, an important thing, With this new model, you can also choose the level of reasoning, standard or extended. If you choose the standard, you'll have balanced thinking and speed. On the other hand, with the extended option, it will think longer about more complex issues and consequently will use more tokens. So, keep that in mind. I copied this prompt from the internet to create that website section called the hero where you have some animations, and this is what it gave me. Look how cool. It's just the hero itself, right? That top part there, the main part of the website, and it managed to do the animations just the way I asked. The buttons here don't work because I didn't ask for that. I just wanted this animated part here to show you, and it did really well with excellent rendering quality. Then I also asked the following. Create a website introducing yourself as GPT-5.5. Let's see the preview. Check it out. Better ideas, clearer decisions, projects coming to life, about skills, uses, and getting started. And here, a complete website, and once again, with very good taste when it comes to choosing the color palette, fonts, and animations. It's really cool because with a simple command, nothing fancy, just using natural language, it delivered this website to me. Now, let's go to Codex, where I'll show you what I was able to create with GPT 5.5 as well. Notice that now, when you enter Codex and click on the models, you have the option for GPT 5.5, and then you can choose the intelligence level, low, medium, high, or very high. Remember that in each of these modes, the token consumption is different. Leave it on medium here, and as for speed, choose the standard mode. That way, you'll be able to use it much more comfortably, without having to worry about the token limit. For this first example here, I asked for the following. Build a premium cycling website called Velocity. What does it have? A cinematic hero video, a high contrast minimalist interface, and seamless user authentication. This was the result it gave me. Take a look at my site. Here, I have my animated hero section. It put this really cool introduction video here. Here, I have precision for each pedal. 3 lines to conquer the city, minimalism that can handle the speed, and here, look, club, routes, equipment. If I click here, I can enter the platform or sign up. It used a high contrast palette really well here, and everything is working just right. As an example, I also used this same prompt, but inside Kimi in K2.6 to see how it would turn out, but there I was using the agentic mode. And this was the result. You can see I have this video here too, and then he put some images here that were generated by the tool itself, and then it added the rest of the site. So there is a difference. Here, I was using the agentic mode of K2.6, and here inside Codex, I simply asked it to create a website for me. So, there is this difference. In one tool, I used the agentic mode, and here it was just the new model, the 0.5. I thought it did very well, because here in the agentic mode, I had to add some extra prompts. Notice that I'm here in version number 2, so I could achieve this result. But here, it was just a single prompt and it delivered this website to me. In this other example, using Codex here, I asked it to create a replica of macOS, Apple's operating system. Let's see how it turned out. Look, I have Safari here. Close. Down here, the icons actually work. Pretty cool, right? I can even move them over here. Everything is working perfectly. Here in Notes, I can write. I have the music here. It's a shame that the music isn't playing, but it would be really cool if it did. Here on the right side, I have the Macintosh HD. Once again, Safari to access the internet. In the controls here, there's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, focus and mirroring, brightness and sound. In fact, look, the brightness works. If I want to change the wallpaper, I just go into the settings here, and then I can select new wallpapers here. In fact, I have a terminal here that I can use. So, it understood the prompt perfectly. It was just a single command. I didn't ask it to do anything else at all, and it gave me this result. In this example here, I copied the prompt they used during the presentation, which was to create that animation there, simulating the Artemis 2 mission. One detail, to create using Codex here, I didn't include NASA's data because I didn't have access to that data. What did I do? I took a screenshot of that screen and then used the prompt that was on the website so it would create the animation for me, and this was the result. Look, I'm going to hit play here, I'll increase the speed, and here I have the Orion spacecraft's launch, and at this point, the spacecraft will reach the moon. I'll fast forward a little here. Look, it's getting closer, and here I can zoom in to see it better. I have some viewing options here. I'll set it to real scale, the moon, the Earth, and the return here. I can start again, pause, show the trajectory, the orbits. So the path here doesn't seem very accurate to me, but as I said, I didn't have access to NASA's data, it was just a screenshot. So it managed to bring exactly what was in the screenshot. I didn't have data, so it couldn't fully emulate it. But the idea of having this animation was very well executed. I have the little spaceship here, so it already shows how the trajectory is made for it to reach the moon up there. Take a look. If I want, I can resize it here to get a better view. So here I have the Earth, the trajectory, and in the background, the moon. So it passed this test with flying colors, because even without the data, just using the screenshot, it managed to give me the animation. Now this example here is amazing. I took this screenshot I found on the internet, uploaded it here to Codex, asked it to turn this screenshot into a little game, and look how it turned out. Look at this little game, just how I pictured it. Too bad I didn't request sound effects. That would have been really cool. And look, I have my laser beam here. If I hold down the mouse button, the laser flashes. So, the way I took the screenshot and entered the prompt, it gave me this little game here, which in my opinion turned out really cool because it used all the rendering from the screenshot and managed to create the game for me. And the detail is, it's fully functional, only missing the sound effect. Oh, about those new features that were added here to Codex, if you type the @ symbol, now I can create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and this new option here, browser use. If I select it, I can ask the following, look, I'm here with browser use, test the user's interaction in the animation, and I'll send it. Notice that I'm not doing anything at all, and it has already started moving the mouse pointer over there. So this is amazing because you can test your UI, your user interface, without having to ask someone else to do it. So everything happens automatically. The artificial intelligence itself will understand your screen and will start clicking to see if everything is working properly, if you can change pages, if the menu's open, in short, if your application is working correctly. So guys, test it out, because in my opinion, this is one of the coolest models that has been released so far. OpenAI is really reinventing itself. After a drop in stock prices and also in the number of ChatGPT subscribers, it seems that things are getting back on track. Because this new model, it can not only create applications, websites, presentations, and documents, it can also interact with your screen using Codex. And the usage limits are much more generous than the ones we have on Claude, for example. So, did you like it? Do you think this is the new model to beat next week? Let me know in the comments, alright? See you in the next video. Bye-bye.
And the moon is a dime. Moon just a